Hey folks, Notretsam here. I'm with another Let's Talk video, but as the title says, I love Dead by Daylight. The last Let's Talk I did, and I think you probably saw it yesterday. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to post these on the same day at the moment, or I'm going to post them one day and then the frustrating one day and from there. You'll know the answer to that question by now because obviously they're up on YouTube and you're watching this right now. So I know this one will come after for me. But I was talking about there after I listened back to the frustrating one. I was thinking to myself, you know what? I should really do a positive video. And I considered well what I was filming that, recording that video, that I should maybe end on a positive note about the game because I tend to like to do that. I like to talk if I'm talking about negative about something, I like to end on a positive note. But I decided not to do that in the frustrating video, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to post this instead. So here we go. What do I love about Dead by Daylight? Nothing. I hate the game. Fuck it all. I play it because I'm a massacre. I just want to punish myself because I'm a horrible human being. So I play Dead by Daylight a lot. Don't know if that one right now. Yeah, what I love about Dead by Daylight is even though I talked yesterday and the first, I'm going to say it's yesterday because you're probably going to see this the following day afterwards. But what I love about Dead by Daylight is even though you and the frustrating video I said, but some players can play in a certain way and are frustrating. But for the most part, the community, there's a lot of really good people in this community, and I love how this game brings people together. Because there's been games where I've played as a killer, where I've actually had good banter afterwards in the chat with people there as well. There's matches where I've had where I haven't killed anyone, and I've basically got owned, and but I've had a chase with someone for most of the match, and I've been really good at chasing, but I've really enjoyed the chase. I've really enjoyed the challenge of the chase. And it's been a lot of fun to me, and I was there, and it was fun to them too. I'm sure the teammates weren't too happy because they weren't getting fun, but they did the gens quickly and everything like they should and all that stuff. So yeah, and that's the fun there. I thought that's one of the things that I love about the game is there's a really cool content creating community around this. As the player base can be a lot of fun. I enjoy watching Turbo videos. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's got a lot of really good ideas about builds and stuff like that you can do. Scott John's got a lot of great opinions on there and some cool gameplay to it. Or Starwell comes up with a lot of really great ideas. Linksay is a really cool content creator. Her joy when she hits a hit with the twins that she mains is actually contagious. It makes you actually want to play the twins. It's a lot of fun to watch. You always got Polly Esther I recently came across. She's really cool. There's a lot of cool people that do content creating for this game, and there's a lot of people around these communities here. And I can't. Also, there's people like Morgan and Dead Angel I enjoy watching playing this game as well. Too, it's a fun game to watch. It's a fun game to play. Also, at the same time, it's about the horror genre. And when I was in my teens and my twenties, I absolutely loved the horror genre there. And obviously, a lot of characters in this game are from that, so it's a lot of fun too. I love that. And I love that it brings people together. I love that there's really cool people in the community with some real creative ideas and some good ideas about add-ons, combos, and all that stuff out there. So you can learn a lot from watching other people play the game, and then you can go away try your own stuff and all that there too. It's really a lot of fun seeing all that happening and seeing the different game styles and play styles there. For fun, it's basically people who just want to play just straight up have fun with everyone in the match. And it's just a lot of fun, and I love seeing that and with other people's content, the creators that I talked about. And there's a lot of other ones as well too there. And then saying I love how it brings people together. Like for example, Cora, who was the one person who got me in this game. There's other people in the core crew that I actually played this game with too as well. It's a lot of fun to play with a survivor with other people as well. Too there, it can really bring a lot of people together in a positive way. But so, as I said yesterday, there's a negative side too. But for the most part, a lot of really cool people in the game, and it's a lot of fun being part of that. Yeah, so that's fun. Also, I talked about the content creating side of things as well. This game has a lot to it. It has a lot to it. Every killer's got their own add-ons, their own unique power. Every killer has intricacies with their power I meant to say. Has a unique power and it integrates with that power, and sometimes that can take longer than theirs, so there's a challenge there. But there's so much from a content creator's perspective around just the killer side on his own that you can actually do a lot of content on. Like recently, I just had the first time killer series. They're my first time playing with killer, but I introduced each killer and I had the free matches. I had that. There's also add-ons I could look into as well. Too, there's a variety. There's like 28 killers in the game, so there's, to me, variety is a big thing, and Dead by Daylight provides a lot of variety there for content creators. There's so many add-ons, so many killers. Even with the survivor side, you have a lot of pair combos that you can use and stuff like that. You've got solo survivor, you can work with friends and all that stuff. There's so many different ways you can play this game. It's a lot of fun, and the killers are from the horror genre too, and it's so much fun when it's played in a straight up way where everyone is just looking to have fun, and it's great. And from a content creator's perspective, there's so much potential in the content you can create for this game. And this doesn't even include, right now, there's content creators on the PTB. I don't do the PTB myself because I don't fancy waiting on the queue times. But they're getting content for their YouTubes or Twitch streaming based on playing the PTB and checking out the new stuff. You also have a new killer and new survivors coming out as well regularly each year as well in this game too, so there's a long shelf life with the game too, and that's something that I love about it from a content creator's perspective. Is part of the reason why I've picked Dead by Daylight as my main game, because I see the long-term potential in Dead by Daylight. As I said yesterday, I see the frustrating, but at the same time I see the long-term potential in it. As I've talked about with other content creators, they've been doing it for years. Basically, there because obviously there is a hook, and when it comes to content creating, there's so many different things you can do. Like as I said, I've got we're in a heat wave here in the UK, and it's July and my hay fever is yeah, exactly, that's what my hay fever's like right now. But yeah, from a content creative perspective, it's really a lot of ideas. Like I had the first time killer series. I also have the upcoming Power Moves killer challenge that I'm looking to do after the PTB's gone live. Where I basically don't use any add-ons or perks. It's very much like our Star Wars 30-second challenge and a combination of the Power Moves Survivor series, which is what I do in my Power Moves series at the moment. But you can look at my YouTube too. I have like a No Mover series. I have Power Moves Killer and Survivor. I have the combo series for perk combos as well. And I have this Killer Moves challenge series. I have my first time killer series. There's just so many different options, I feel like here. And there's more and more killers getting added, more and more survivors getting added each year. There's just so much potential from a content creator perspective, and I love that. As someone who considers himself to be a very creative person, there's so much I feel like I could come up with. There's a lot of ideas I don't think I've had yet about this game that I can come up with. Like for example, Mixed Bag is something I could maybe do a long time into the future. Now, admittedly, this was a variation of Tofu's randomizer, because there's randomizer out there where you can do randomizer builds, and Tofu does all that a lot. It's a lot of fun to watch, and so I think it'd be a lot of fun to do as well. But my version was a mixed bag idea where I play the survivor match, and whatever killer I get, whatever map I get, I then go over to killer. I play, say I got Trickster on Macmillan Estate. I go over there, I play Trickster, and I put Macmillan Estate offering. I was even considering that I could the perks that the killer used in that match. I basically look at the perks and I use the exact same perks, but since I don't have all perks and all killers, right now that's not really an option for me to do right now. But I think that would be a lot of fun as a kind of a different way of doing a randomizer. Plus, it showed survivor and killer from a family perspective as well. So yeah, there's so much potential from a content creator's perspective, and there is a lot of great content creators out there doing a lot of cool stuff as well. But make sure you subscribe to me and stick to me, watch me first before you watch anyone else, please. Thank you. Yeah, I would appreciate that. Yeah, that would be very nice of you. Do it or die. I play killer, and I'm a very good I'm a very good mouse one killer. I'm pretty good at mouse one. Ask me to use the power, I'm a different story. But when I'm using mouse one, I'm pretty good at it, so you should be terrified. You should definitely listen to me and watch my content first. So yeah, the community is a great fun. I love that. I think community people, there's a lot of cool people in it. Two, from a content creator's perspective, it's a lot of fun. And 3 is based on horror movies. I feel like as someone who actually went off horror movies, this has actually brought my love for horror back as well, this game. Because I don't really know why my love for horror movies went. I think maybe I just went over more to sci-fi, really, and sort of Marvel and superhero stuff I sort of went over to, and stuff like that, kind of supernatural genre there, but not sort of full on horror their stuff. So I've kind of got back, but it's in that. There are Scream movies really, but you don't. I haven't seen the Death Day or something like that. The first movies were really good, but for the most part, you don't get the wide range of movies. Like in the past, you had like Chucky and you had Freddy and you had Jason, you had Michael Myers. There's others I'm thinking of forgetting as well. You had Ghostface that came up as well too at some point. But near that, you had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. By the way, I had no idea Meg was on that gen with me, by the way. So when I thought I came around, I looked away. That was me freaking out because I heard something and it was Meg. See, this type of things too, you get little scares like this too. Like when Oreo comes out of television, which she's about to do here, that's kind of scary. You have the Dredge as well, it's kind of scary. It brings the kind of horror element, and there's some cool stuff like that. There's some moments where it's just crazy, and it's crazy in a good way because it's scary, and there's crazy in a bad way because people are maybe freaking out or some strange play goes on or something like that. It's yeah, sometimes you can do really good loops like there, or sometimes you don't do good loops. It's all very exciting to know, like how is a match going to go when you're playing solo survivor. It can bring in the horror element. You can get immersed in that sometimes. A lot of the times the novelty does wear off, like for a Dredge, for example. When I played Dredge, when I was doing the Adept Caddy match, which you can see on my achievements playlist, I was on Midwich and there was 2 gens in the courtyard. And the kill had Fear Mugger, and it was a Dredge, obviously. And I was terrified. I was utterly terrified because Donny just came into the game. Dredge had just came into the game and went live not too long, and this was one of my first matches against the Dread, and I was utterly terrified. It was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life playing this game, and I loved every second of it. It was great. So I love the horror element of it. No, admittedly the horror element does tend to fade, and I've been playing the game over 1,000 hours, so for the most part that has faded, and I kind of regret that. But at the same time, there is still moments where it comes up, and when I play solo survival, this is why I do no Miver series and why I do Power Move series, because it kind of brings that edge to my play a little bit there, and I enjoy that. I love that. I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to doing my Power Moves challenge series and trying that out because I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to come up with other ideas that's going to make it more fun as well, too. And I feel like as a creative person, I could potentially do that. But that's the third thing, the horror elements. The first one is the community. The second thing is the level of content you can create for a content creator. The third thing is the horror element. At times that can be a lot of fun. Sometimes when you're playing the game at the same time in that section, you see some things and playing the game and you're like, huh, what were you doing? You see some crazy playstyles. Like recently, in the video yesterday that I played, showed with frustrating visual. In the match I showed about the 3 pretty much disconnects. I had a match where someone pretty much was idle and disconnected when I had 2 hours to disconnect. I've had matches in the past where I got a dead Leon because all 3 of my teammates disconnected and the killer disconnected as well. Seriously, it's on my achievements playlist. Go check it out, a dead Leon. It actually happened. There's so much crazy things that happen in this game. There's so many times where I don't get hit and I'm like, huh, what? There's sometimes survivors will lose me and I'm like, where the hell did they go? And there's sometimes I lose the killer and then I'm like, he's wondering where I am. And stuff like that. There's so much different things. They're like, no one match is the same. There's always different because different survivors, different killers, stuff like that. It's just, the variety in the game is good. And that's another thing that I like about it. The first one is the community, second thing is the content creating, and the third thing is the horror element. The fourth thing is variety in the game. There, and that's the maps as well. Even though a lot of people get frustrated with the maps, and there are some maps I'm not the biggest fan of. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Asylum right now because I've realised how broken that map is. Because there's just there's what do you call it? There's the pallet, the shack plus a whole load of loops, like T-wall, L-walls. I can't remember exactly what each of them was, but there's a whole bunch of stuff out the one way that I'm playing against the Spirit, and I was just constantly vaulting through windows one after another, and I love to vault windows. I'm a vaulting window person. I prefer to vault windows than play pallets. It's just I don't know why, but I do. Just I find it fun. That's something that I love doing is actually vaulting windows. I don't know why. Just the feeling of me vaulting the window is just feels great for me. I don't really understand why. It doesn't feel too great when the sort of killer hits me, mind you. But I do enjoy that. But the variety of maps is a good thing. But there is some broken maps like Asylum with this loop basically there. Also the house can be a bit of a pain as well if the powers are still up and stuff. To also Gideon with all the powers as well can be frustrating. But most of the time I actually don't mind the maps. I actually enjoy the old Haddonfield. I enjoy Raccoon City PlayStation. I like the variety. That's what for me. I say sometimes maps should be more favourable to the survivor. Sometimes maps should be more favourable to the killer. And I love the variety in this game. I really do. You got the different killers as well with the powers as well. The variety in that. You got the variety of perks as well. You got the variety of maps. You got the variety, the different people you're playing with. There's just so much variety in the game, and I love that. I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah, so that's the fourth thing. Anything else? I'm sure there's other things. I love the shelf life of the game. And I think there's a long shelf life in the game. Admittedly, I was a little concerned that maybe the shelf life in the game was low because I'll be honest, when I did the Adepts, I was thinking I completed the game because the grind in the game was just too much, but that's pretty much going to be resolved in the next update there. Because that was the grind in the game where you have to basically proceed, to get everyone to Prestige 350. It was just going to take so long to do that in the past. Now it's not going to take as long now, and it doesn't put me off. So I kind of felt like in the past with Legendary Killer and Legendary Survivor achievement plus all the Adept achievements, it was basically I felt like I completed the game. But before I'd finished the Adept achievements, I knew of what was coming up in the next mid-chapter release. So I knew the blood point grind was gone, and I was like, okay, great, because I'd actually just put Bill and because I had all the achievements, but I also had Bill at Prestige 3 with all the perks on Bill, and I had Spirit and Trickster and Spirit to Prestige 3 with all the perks on them as well. So I was like, okay, I've completed the game. That was pretty much the mindset I was thinking about when I was building up to doing that. But now I've done it, I always knew about the mid-chapter release, and I'm loving that the blood point grind is reduced a lot. I know some people were saying that their Scott John was one person who posted, apparently someone read it, worked out the numbers exactly, and it turns out the blood point grind isn't any more of a reduction because you're losing your blood points on We're Gonna Live Forever and Barbecue Chili. But for me, that's the grind was never the blood points. The blood points was part of the grind because you need to spend them. The grind was actually more to do with when a character in the game became playable with actual good perks. Now that isn't an issue anymore because that reduction has been reduced a lot. So the grind is no longer there anymore. I feel like most killers or any survivor, you can get perks on them there because it used to be where you would prestige and lose all the perks. Now that never happens. And also when you actually do prestige a character to free all the level 3 versions of that character's perks appear on every other killer and survivor for now, for basically without any spending any blood points. So it's just utterly awesome, and that is such a great change, and it's really built up my excitement and love for the game even more. Because I'm now at what there, I'm now working out in my mind, like what characters am I going to actually put up first? It's probably going to be related to perks. For example, Lethal Pursuer is probably going to be a favourite perk of mine, so I'm probably going to Prestige Nemesis first. Ironically enough, I'm All Ears is a favourite perk as well, so I'm probably going to put Ghostface up as well. Probably Off the Record is going to be a favourite perk. Iron Will and Windows are still going to be two of my favourite perks, so I'll probably focus on Jade Park and Kate Denson for the two perks. So there will be two Off the Record. Zarina will be a perk. I do enjoy Tenacity, which I think is Detective Tap, if I remember correctly. Can't remember for sure. I think I did pretty well memory-wise there actually, because I'm pretty sure it is Detective Tap actually. It's got Tenacity. I'm saying it is, even if it turns out I'm wrong, it's still Detective Tap. I did quite well with my memory there. But yeah, I love all that stuff. And admittedly, at times I need to take some time away from the game because the frustration and stuff I talked about yesterday. But that's the same with all games, really. Sometimes you get a bit frustrated and you're not really in the same mindset, so you leave the game a little bit. Yeah, but that's all the stuff that I love in the game. I think I've covered everything in that, but that's generally everything there. Let me know in the comments what you love as well about the game. If you like to, I don't think there's anything else. Oh yeah, I love Bo. Yeah, I love Bo from Left 4 Dead. I love the Left 4 Dead game. So Bo's in the game. I think Katie, the new character's just been introduced, is absolutely brilliant too. I think she looks like a really badass, and I love her. She'll probably be one character I would love to actually prestige up, actually get more perks on her, so she's more playable. Might actually spend some blood points on her. It's because I've got a bunch coming in soon from the. I'm almost at Prestige 1, Erudite 1 Killer. Survivor, I don't think I'm too high with Survivor, but I think a couple of days maybe I could push it up a bit more. But yeah, I may actually throw some blood points on her and start maining her along with Bo at some point as well. So that's the thing there. There's, as I talked about, there's something else I love, like okay, I'm going to do this, do this. But at the same time, I want to get Bubba up as well because I want to be a nice Bubba in the game who doesn't camp a tunnel there as well. So there's a lot of different things to do that you can in this game, and from the content creation perspective, it's just I feel like it's endless the amount of content you can create for this game. So that's why I love Dead by Daylight. Let me know in the comments why you love Dead by Daylight. I would like to hear it, read it, and who knows, maybe you'll actually add some more reasons that to love this game that I haven't actually talked about already, and it'll make me realise other things that I don't quite realise right now as well. But I love when people survivors make mistakes as well like that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like that video. If you like to see future content like this, then please subscribe for future content, and until next time, yeah, take care.